Welcome back to Old War Stories with Uncle Jay. This one has to do with cable TV Part 2. And this one, at this point I had gotten older. We're talking 1997, 1998, which would make me, good 17, 18 years old. Somewhere in there. I was working for a company called The Wiz, which was formerly known as Nobody Beats The Wiz. Those of you in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut tri-state area would probably remember said stores, as they were all around. Anyway, I worked for them. The Wiz was always in financial trouble. And just as a very quick aside, it was called Nobody Beats The Wiz because we would beat anybody's price. Here's the stipulation, and this is where everybody fell flat on their fucking face. Not the people who worked there. We had our shit together. But the customers, because nobody could read the fucking fine print in the circular. Ever. And when they found it, and it was posted in the store, and they would never read the fucking fine print. So here's the deal. If you found the same model, let's just say TV set, at a different store, same brand, same model, same fucking everything, at a different store for a lower price, we would beat their price and then give you 10% of the difference between the two prices. So basically, if it was a $20 difference, we sold it for $200. They sold it for $180. And of course, the $200 is $199.99. Forget the cents in that. Round it off. $200 and $180. There's a $20 difference. So you would get it for $180 minus 10% of the difference between the prices. So you would get 10% of $20 or $2. So you got that TV not for $180, but $178. People were always like, no, you're beating the price by 10%. No, we beat it by 10% of the difference between the prices, which is what the sign says, what the receipt says, actually it didn't say on the receipt, and what the fucking flyer says. Here's everything. You want this TV or don't you? That was Nobody Beats The Wiz. So for $2, we were in financial trouble. How, why, mismanagement, what else is fucking new? Anyways, the cable company in the area is called, or was called at the time, Cablevision. That was the cable that we had at my parents' house. That was the only cable company that you could get. And we had cable TV since the early 1980s. And here we are in 97, 98, somewhere in there. The Wiz is in financial trouble. Cablevision said, this might be a good time to invest. So they bought out The Wiz. So now we were still The Wiz, but we were owned by Cablevision. And that drove business because, first and foremost, we sold TVs, VCRs, DVD players. They were like new at the time, shit like that. So we sold all that. And they're like, how about a nice big screen and a stereo system to go with it, with surround sound and Dolby and fucking all this and fucking all that. And these guys are making big fucking commission and all kinds of great shit. Anyways, they would sell TVs and VCRs and all that shit. Oh, by the way, are you a Cablevision customer? Gee, that doesn't sound fucking fishy at all. We had a Cablevision walk-in center in the building. You had a problem with your cable box, you bring that shit to The Wiz. They could test it out in The Wiz and say, you're right, sir, we're terribly sorry. Your box is defective. Here's a new one. No problem. All set. Thanks, just hook it up, give it 5 minutes to boot up, and you're all set. Actually, they didn't boot in those days. That was another story. And cable modems were coming on the scene. And we sold computers with Windows 98, Windows Millennial, Windows 2000 here and there, and maybe even up to the XP days. No, it may have been a little early for that, but we definitely sold Windows 98 and 98 SE machines, and oh boy, there's stories from The Wiz. A lot of stories from the Wiz. But anyway, we sold all that. And cable modems. Hey, do you have high-speed internet to go with this computer? What's that? You mean no more dial-up? I don't need a second phone line? That's right, sir. That's right, ma'am. Sign up now. Pay this price and we'll rape you forever. And we did. But being that I worked for The Wiz, which is now owned by Cablevision, I'm effectively working for Cablevision. Cablevision weren't conniving bastards at the time. They charged a pretty penny, and they were conniving bastards, but not like they are today. They said, all right, well, the Wiz is however many stores, however many employees, guess what? You're all Cablevision employees now, and being that you're Cablevision employees, you now get cable TV for free. That's right, I got free fucking cable. Well, I didn't. I was still living at my dad's house, so he got free cable. He didn't pay me what he wasn't paying to the cable company. No, no, no. That was just expected, that I would bring home such a benefit when we found out about it. Well, also as part of that, I could get a cable modem. And I started out with this, well, it's a long story. They called it an analog cable modem. I don't remember much about it. It was a huge heatsink, metal case, and it had 4 LEDs in the front of it, and they were like recessed in this plastic, so I had it on top of the tower machine, so I used to have to bend down and look to make sure the lights are connected and everything's good, because this was still in its infancy at the time. And eventually that was upgraded to the shark fin modem, the digital modem. The 3Com or US Robotics, I think it was a 3Com shark fin modem. And I still have it, actually. Don't think it works anymore, and it's not really compliant with the current DOCSIS standard, but that's neither here nor there. Cable modems at the time would have to be installed by the cable company. So going back, actually, well, I mean, I'm kind of jumping around. The shark fin modem I actually had to pay for $250. And they actually could take that out of your paycheck in installments, like $20 every paycheck or something. And there was no financing charge or anything. So I said, yeah, just do that. And I bought the cable modem and paid for it. And that was that, because I was the one who was on the computer all the time. Hi, YouTube! So yeah, there was no YouTube at the time. But anyway, there were other things. And high-speed internet was wow at the time. That was coming off a dial-up. That was some serious shit. So anyway, we got the cable modem installed. That's a whole story, but I'll spare you that. But we also could get other cable runs to other rooms in the house for free because we worked for the company. We just had to set up an appointment. So one day I went to the Cablevision desk, and there was this guy, Seth. He was a nice guy. And I said, Seth, listen, and I talked to my dad about this. Because what happened was, I had cable TV, and my sister was like, wait a minute, how come you get to have cable TV, but I can't? Her room was upstairs. There was no cables run upstairs fucking anywhere. Nothing. But I could get cable installed for free. So we said, okay, let's do this. So my dad gave the okay, and I went to Seth and I said, we'll set up a time and date. We did. And the guy came, and basically the deal was we were going to get the cable run in from the end of the house where it was. My sister's room was in the middle. There were 3 rooms upstairs, and her room was in the middle. There was a triangular-shaped attic space that I might have been in twice, maybe 3 times, in my entire life in that house. And here's the interesting thing. On the other side of the stairs is my grandmother's room. I almost lost my paper. Is my grandmother's room. And to get into the attic, you go into the closet in the bedroom, and there's a hatch there that you open. Now, my dad was so cheap with the heat that he never put it on, but anywhere there might have been a crack or a gap or anything, insulation, foam, screws, nails, anything that would seal this, plastic, you name it, that he could, weather stripping, that he could put up to prevent an ounce of heat leaving, he would do it. So to get into this attic was a big pain in the ass. Because first of all, there were shelves there, so you had to clear all of the shelves. Then there were clothes hanging, and you couldn't push them aside, so they had to be unloaded onto the bed so you could squeeze in there to then undo all the fucking battening down of the hatches, so to speak. And then you could get in the attic. And the attic was hot, it was dirty, it was dusty, and nobody went in there. My dad went in there a couple times for probably to put more insulation in, I don't know. Anyways, the guy drilled a hole in the house, and he ran the cable into the attic, and I think, I'm not certain, but I think we had the guy go in the attic space. Can't remember. Either he did or my dad did. I don't remember. And basically he had a spool of wire on the ground, and brought it up the ladder, went into my grandmother's room, because that's the side of the house the cable went in from. And that would get split off down by the ground where the cable connection was originally. And all that's hunky-dory. And then he ran the cable in, and then the guy says, okay, I'm going to go back outside. And my dad says, start fucking pulling. So we pulled, I don't know, 50 feet real quick while the guy was going down the stairs and outside and back around to the side of the house or something. just to do it. So I think all that wire is sitting in the attic space. And we had the attic open, and then the guy actually finished the install. We ran it right through the attic, over to my sister's room, popped a hole through the wall, and it was just sort of stapled along the baseboard, and then it went, I think, over the radiator. There was a radiator there, and then a door to get into the third room. So it had to go over the door frame and then continue on around behind, which is where the dresser with the TV was. So that was the story with that. Anyway, we signed the paper, the cable guy leaves, and my sister now has cable. Nope, sorry, not the end of the story. Now at this point, TVs have been shuffled around, and my uncle had passed away, and we got a 19-inch Sony Trinitron TV. It was cable ready, had the remote even, all kinds of fancy shit, and stuff like that. And we had all that, and she had a cable-ready TV, and she even had a VCR, long stories on all that, of course. And we did that, and now she had cable. But on the other side was my grandmother's room. Now, my grandmother didn't live there, or at least at the time, but she would stay on weekends. She would live in Brighton Beach, Brooklyn, and come out on the train. And then eventually she kind of got too old to be doing the train, so we used to drive to Brooklyn and pick her up for the weekend and drive her back. Anyways, I said to my dad, listen, while the attic is open, don't you think it might be a good idea to cut the wire that we just pulled 50 feet in and put a splitter in there and split it off to Grandma's room so Grandma can have cable? She doesn't need that shit. It wasn't his mother. It was my mother's mother. So he didn't care. She doesn't need that shit. What are you talking about? I said, listen, not for nothing. You have the splitter. You have the F connectors. The attic is open. The chances of all of this happening at another time is never. So it's pretty much now or never. I said, what is it going to take? 5 fucking minutes? Something? All right, fine. So we got all the shit together, and he went in there, and it's sweating his balls off in the attic, and it's hot and dirty and dusty, and there's no light. He had like a trouble light or a flashlight or something, and he cut the cable and put the F connectors on, and there's a splitter in there. We drilled through the wall, and then we got cable to my grandmother's room, and that's how that one happened. And yeah, that was it. Interestingly enough, there were telephone wires run in every room in the house, and it had the old school 4-prong jacks where you had like the 2 and then the other 2 which are like differently spaced so the plug only fit one way. They were all the square 4-prong ones, if anybody remembers those. that's the outlets that were in the house for the phone. And phone wires run everywhere. And in my grandmother's room, there were a number of jacks and junction boxes. And apparently this house had 3 telephone lines at one point back in the day before my parents owned it. Maybe in the 50s or 60s or 70s before they bought it. Maybe the guy had an office up there or something. He might have been a doctor or some shit like that. I don't really remember what the story was with these people. It was well before my time. And a little bit of a scary story, just that I found out years later. Their name was Stockman. That was their last name. I don't remember their first names. And in the downstairs bathroom, we had the glass shower doors, and there was a diamond shape, remember the elevator video? Diamond shaped thing etched in the glass with an S for Stockman. And those doors with the S are still there to this day. Some 40 years later, my parents never changed them. They redid the bathroom, sort of, but they never changed the doors, so it still says S for Stockman. The reason the lady was selling the house is Mr. Stockman one day went to go down to the basement and fell going down the basement stairs and died. A guy died in the house I grew up with. Yikes. That was a little weird. Oh, and P.S. My mother fell down those stairs, I don't know, a year ago, a few months ago. Who the fuck cares? She didn't die, damn it. I mean, unfortunately. But she was laying there for an hour before my dad had realized that, where the fuck is she? And then saw her sort of sprawled out on the floor. And she doesn't go down to the basement anymore. So he has to do the laundry. He has to go on the computer, because that's where the computer is. And all that, and... Anyway, oh, another quick aside while I'm talking, my fucking voice is ready to split. But anyway, my mother says, I need a laptop. No, you don't. I need a laptop. No, you don't. I need a laptop because I can't go downstairs to the computer. The computer that my dad has is over 15 years old. And it came with Windows XP. I have put Windows 7 on it, but it's still 15 years old on an x86 architecture. Yeah, it's old. And my dad doesn't understand that computers don't last 15 years anymore, and this was like the last of the good machines and shit. He doesn't get that. I need a laptop. My mother can't fucking copy and paste. She doesn't know a right click from a double click. She doesn't know shit about fuck with computers, and would break them all the time. That's another story. But anyway, I need a laptop. You don't know how to use Windows 10. You can't even use Windows 7 because you don't go down to the basement now. I need a laptop. Shut the fuck up! You don't need a damn laptop. I'm buying it with my own money. Your own money? When was the last time you worked? Allegedly, she has a couple grand saved up from when she worked. That was her, like, mad money or something. I'm paying for it. And then she puts the blame on me. She says, you have to buy it for me. I said, oh, no, you don't. Yes, you do. I said, listen, you can go to the store and buy a Dell model, 123XYZ for the same price that I can. You go and buy it. I don't want it. I don't need it. You have to buy it. I said, no matter what I buy, you're not going to know how to use, and it's going to be my fault that I bought that for you. Even with your money, it's still going to be my fault. So you're going to have to buy it. And, my dad's like, shut up, you're not getting a fucking laptop, blah, blah, blah. And he just doesn't want to see anybody spending any money. Ooh, get this shit. I had a revelation. I said, hey, you know what you could do? Here's a great idea, and it won't even cost a dime. Holy shit! When I was still living there, I had run Ethernet to my room. Yeah, through the ceiling, right along with the cable wire that was put in years before, so it kind of ties in. There's an Ethernet connection there, so there's internet access. The modem is in the basement. It was all connected over there. There's still a router there. It plugs right the fuck in. No big deal. All you do is plug the fucking Ethernet cable in, put the computer up there, you're all set. Nope. My old bedroom is off limits to me and pretty much everyone else because there's loads of shit loaded up to the fucking ceiling. You can't even walk in my old bedroom. I said there's a little desk that I had a computer on for years in that room, along with a chair, for fuck's sake, and all you have to do, and I'll do it for you, just clean the fucking shit out of there. I'll hook it up for you. You put the computer on the floor, put the monitor on the thing with the keyboard and then the mouse, and you're all set. No, fuck you, we're not doing shit. And you're not getting a laptop, friend, so shut up. You know, not that I want anything good from my mother, because I don't like her, but this is something where it would give her a chance to fuck up the computer a lot easier, because she really can't get down to the basement much anymore. And it's free. And all the provisions are there. The only thing that's changing is the physical location of the machine. But no, we can't have anything even if it's fucking free. This is how I grew up, folks. Hence, Old War Stories with Uncle Jay. And I got the cable wire run for free, and we could have that because it was free, and that's sort of an added, you know, oh, there's cable TV in these rooms upstairs. You know, a selling point for later on. Not that, you know, people wouldn't have cable fucking everywhere in their house nowadays anyway. But whatever. Of course, everybody's cutting the cord now. Oh, too expensive. I just go on Netflix and watch movies all day. Enough babbling bullshit with Jay. I can barely speak anymore. Oh my. And I have another one of these that I want to record today. So, another Old War Story with Uncle Jay. Cable TV Part 2. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.